Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Green Industry Raw and Uncut. I'm your host, Doug Reich. It is Tuesday night, 9:50 p.m. We had a couple technical difficulties, but either way, we're going to record this so that if something doesn't work, we're going to post it on YouTube, and you guys can all watch it afterwards. So we're going to start over here, start everything over. Hopefully, everybody joins again, and we have a good old time. So tonight's guest, we've got Danny Lanier from Lanier Lawn Care. I'm going to beam him in right now, and we're going to get the show started here. So there we are. Danny, you are in. How you doing tonight, Danny?
I'm great.
Good, man. Let's go through this all one more time. So let's hear a little bit about you, Danny.
I think everybody's tired of hearing about me, but
that's all right.
I'm Danny. I'm Danny Lanier. I'm 35 years old. I live about 40 minutes south of Kansas City. I started lawn care about 3 years ago. I guess I'd be what you call a part-timer. I've got about 50 properties, but I can get them all done in 2 to 3 days, and that's pretty much what I do. Instead of stretching it out over 4 days or so, I end up, getting it done as quick as I can and doing whatever I want the rest of the time, spending time with my family, my son, and things like that. So I really enjoy that part of, what I do. I started YouTube just simply because of Andrew Wilson from Cut and Clean. Ended up telling me that I needed to start a YouTube channel, let everybody pretty much know to watch my journey. If I was messing up things, then I could learn from other people, and that's pretty much how it all started. And now I'm at almost 6,000 subscribers in a year and a half. It's went crazy.
That's a big deal, man. That's a lot of subscribers in a year and a half for sure. So what, before we get too far into the interview here, guys that are watching, if you guys want to drop some questions in the comments, I'll be sure to be watching those, and we'll ask Danny those a little bit later on. So what got you into lawn care, Danny? What'd you do before? What made you say, hey, man, I'm going to go into this business, and this is what I'm going to do?
I worked at, a lot of people would say I'm stupid. I worked at General Motors building the Buick LeSabres the Buick LaCrosse and the Chevy Malibus. And I loved what I did. I loved going to work. It was just, I got tired of being just another number on the assembly line, pretty much. And that's not how I wanted to spend the rest of my life, was literally going and working for somebody else and not being able to, get out there and do something. So I ended up deciding to start a lawn care company.
Nothing wrong with that, man. I did the same thing. I had a regular 40-plus hour a week job. I was a maintenance manager at a plastics company, and I just kind of up and decided one day that that's just not what I want to do anymore. And I had already started my lawn care business, part-time on the side. But and I had enough business at that point to where I could stretch off and do it full-time. So it was definitely an ease of the family burden and everything, as I got to spend more time with them versus being, going to work from 5 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock and then cutting lawns until 9 o'clock at night and not seeing them at all. So,
you're right.
Let's talk a little bit about YouTube, man. Obviously, you said you started that channel about a year and a half ago. What would you say? I mean, what was your big push? I mean, 6,000 subscribers in a year and a half is pretty dang good.
Honestly, I don't know where they came from. I really don't have a clue. I didn't think I was doing anything special by any means. I had videos that I'd put out within 5 months, viral pretty much, and it was just amazing me. But I really didn't grow all that quick until this year. I've grew more this year than I grew, of course, but I think I was around 3,000. I might have been around 2,000, 2,500 at the end of last year, because I know when GIE came, I was only at 12 to 1400, something like that. And that's why I didn't go to GIE. So I really grew a lot this year, and I decided I was going to start putting more into it. And I did. I didn't put as much into it as I wanted to, but I still put a lot into it. And it showed. If I would have posted more, I probably would have gained more. But, at the same time, that's my plan for next year is as I went and I bought new camera equipment. I bought new software for my editing. And, I plan on making my videos start really to jump next year. So, if you've watched my first video on my Just Review It YouTube channel, then that kind of gives you an idea of some of the quality of things that I plan on, starting to do with this my lawn care channel.
So what parts did you build at GM? This is a question from our good friend Nick.
I did not build any parts whatsoever. I put parts on the car. So one day I could be putting the shocks on a car. The next day I could be putting the frame to the chassis. The next day I could be pretty much putting aero panels on the bottom of the cars, or I could be the guy that tightens the nut on the tie rod, or putting the wheels on. Or I was certified on over 80 jobs. So I could pretty much run anything in my section of chassis section. And so when somebody would be out, if they needed a team leader or something, then usually they would send me over there because I knew all the jobs pretty much in the whole chassis department. So I did a little bit of it all. It just varied on the day.
Right on. So let's get back to YouTube here a little bit, because obviously that's going really well for you. How many videos right now would you say that you're posting up, a week, a month? What's your frequency? Do you not have one?
None. I haven't posted any videos in probably 2 or 3 weeks at all. I've got videos that are going to be coming out. I got a new gate assist lift that I need to do a review on. That a company reached out and sent me. I got my Toro mower review I need to do on it, and I've got a BR 600 versus the Echo 770T. We're talking in-depth video of anything and everything you would want to know about each one, even from gas. I've even got a guy that's a maintenance guy that's certified on both Steel and Echo, going to go and tell the differences between the two, of which one the maintenance is a lot easier to do on, and things like that as well. Like, we're getting completely in depth. So I do have videos that's going to eventually come out. It's just probably going to be next month because things have been so hectic lately.
Oh, absolutely, and that happens, especially when you have a family. So for those of you guys who don't know, Danny's got his regular lawn care, Lanier lawn care channel, and then he's also got a new channel. I believe you've got 1 or 2 videos on there, and that's called Just Review It. And he's going to be starting some product reviews, stuff like that. Make sure you guys go check that out. Danny, what would you say, obviously with having 2 channels now, are you happy with where your lawn care one is, and you're going to work on building Review It now, or are you going to still work on both of them the same?
I'm going to work on both of them. And, the thing that really got me into thinking of wanting to do another review channel was a lot of people were posting non-lawn care related reviews on their lawn care channel, and I noticed a lot of people was getting very upset about it, talking about this is becoming just a review channel and things like that. And so I decided that I've got these Milwaukee tools that they sent me, DeWalt and things like that they want me to do reviews on, and they're not lawn care related whatsoever. And so I decided that I was just going to start a review channel and do separate reviews.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And obviously the guys in the lawn care community could care less about some of the tools that are being sent and being reviewed by, some of the people, and obviously that happens. I mean, these companies reach out to you and say, you know, hey, we want you to review this, and really, how do you say no when they're going to send you something for free to review? You know what I mean? But what was your initial reaction the first time somebody called you up or emailed you or hit you up on YouTube and said, hey man, we want to give you a product. All we want you to do is make a video. Tell us what you think of it.
Honestly, I thought it was a crazy product, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it. Hey, it'll help me. It'll help me learn how to do, you know, better reviews. And the first product that ever come out that I actually reviewed that got sent to me, I believe, was Post Shields, and they reached out to me, and I mean, it just, you know, it went from there, and I decided, well, all right, you know, I'll give these a try. I looked them up, learned about their company, learned what they, you know, did, what they were made out of, and my camera, something happened to my DSLR camera, and I had to use my GoPro to film the video, and I was not at all satisfied with it whatsoever. It did not, like, I had it in my head of how I wanted it to look, and after the video was done, I was like, this is not even remotely close to what I wanted it to look like, but it worked. But at the same time, it was, you know, I feel if you're going to send me something, I should be able to put the effort into making you a great video as well. But I also tell companies that, you know, a lot of people think that just because we get something sent for free, that we're going to automatically give it a good review. And I tell everybody before they send me anything, I can show you emails that I send them a message and I say, if you truly want my 100% honest opinion, feel free. But if you have any doubts that your product's going to be just thrown in the drain and that during this review, then it's probably not a good idea on your part.
Right. I mean, and honesty is a fantastic thing. Nobody wants a buttered up review of a product and then they run out and buy it and they're like, what the hell was Danny talking about? You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the not, and I told everybody, I said, you know that I don't want my channel to be about that. I want it to be a channel that if I tell you something is a good product, you can go out and guarantee yourself that you're going to get a good product.
Right. Right. So what, here's another question from one of the watchers. So what's the hardest thing for you about being a small business owner?
That must be from Nick Saint.
Yeah. Most of them probably are going to be. He's got our back on this, and he knows that I was very unprepared for this show because I literally pushed snow all week long, 22, 23-hour days for 4 or 5 days straight.
Oh, wow. What was the question again?
What's the hardest thing for you
Hang on, let me look.
What's the hardest thing for you about being a small business owner?
The hardest thing about being a small business owner to me would probably be people not realizing how much maintenance goes into keeping the equipment up. Like, you've got employees and your employees come and, you know, they work for you that day and then they go home, but they don't realize the aftermath that us as business owners have to deal with as far as changing the oil on our machines. And they think it's just, you know, hey, you never do anything to it. They don't see the back end part of, you know, all the stuff we put into keeping our company there and us washing our trailers and washing our equipment. They don't have to deal with any of that. That would be the one thing that just kills me probably. I think that's probably the hardest thing for me is just keeping up all the maintenance on time. And I'm not sure.
I think another thing you could throw into there would be weather. At least for me. I mean, weather's a big deal. You know, when you get those people that call and say, hey, man, why didn't my lawn get mowed today? I'm like, did you look out your windows? I mean, it's a pretty simple thing, you know.
Well, I'm straight up with my customers, and I tell them, and they know if it's raining, I'm not going to be there, you know. And I tell them before I ever start, before I ever take them on as a client, if it rains, it's going to be 2 days because I'm going to give it a day to dry out and I'll be there the next day.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's how I run my business. I'm not trying to rut people's yard up. I'm not trying to, make a yard look bad from wet grass being clumped or anything like that. And I explain it to them, and most of them understand. And if you don't understand, then I'm probably not the company for you because you're just looking for somebody to come and, throw stuff around, and you're probably going to end up being the person that drops me in 2 months or don't pay me anyway. So I don't need you.
Right. Right. And that's exactly it. I mean, those are the customers that you have an issue with, because if it isn't the rain that's going to bother them, it's something else. And give it a week, give it 2 weeks, give it 2 months. You're either going to be firing them, which I've done, or, they're going to be finding another provider who's cheaper. So, how do you manage, all of the YouTube stuff, social media, Facebook, you're on Instagram a lot. I see that too. And your personal life with family,
My wife works a lot. She works a full-time job. And so, pretty much it's just me and my kid. Like, it's wintertime. I ain't doing nothing. So, I mean, I have all the time in the world. Other than, when my kid needs something. But, other than that, I can sit on the couch, still watch my son and post to Instagram or post to Facebook or sit in my office and open my door, and he'll usually come in here and play cars. And, I've got 2 monitors, so I can put YouTube on one monitor for him to watch, and I can still edit or do whatever I want to on my other monitors. So I've pretty much got it all covered. Got it all covered of how to do it. And, you seen earlier, my wife, she's pretty easygoing about all this. They actually started a YouTube channel too, about 2 weeks ago. So they, her and my 2 girls decided they were going to start a YouTube channel of just random off the wall stuff. And so they ended up doing that, and they love it. So, hey, I don't know, we're just going to become a big old YouTube family, whatever.
My daughters say that all the time. My daughters both have a YouTube channel. There's not a lot on there, and I don't allow them to get real crazy with it, but they're really big into making slime right now, and that's the biggest craze on YouTube, I guess. It's all about the slime, man. They came home from the store 2 days ago with 2 gallons of Elmer's glue.
Wow.
I'm like, what are we doing?
what is this for?
We're making
Dane,
slime.
Your hat is coming, man. Dane, there's another guy that's got a shirt coming too. I've been so crazy busy. I sent somebody a message, I think earlier this week or late last week, telling them I'm sorry, I still haven't got a chance to get your hat out. They said they understood. I told them things have been crazy. It's just been a freaking thing. I don't know if my daughter's in bed or not, but we ended up getting them special Christmas presents, and so I've been driving around looking for that, and now all that's taken care of. Dane, I will get your hat out tomorrow, I promise. Dane, no later. Dane, tomorrow.
Give him hell. Give him hell, because Danny was messaging me about his hat. Hey man, is my hat on the way?
I was like, hey man, where's my hat? It's been like 2 weeks. Come on,
dude,
man. I really wasn't giving him hell. Don't let him make you think that.
No, he wasn't.
But I will get your hats out and your shirts out. I promise I have not forgot about you. It's just Christmas time, and it's been very, very hectic lately with everything going on.
Oh, so, absolutely. Holidays.
I promise it's not like this usually.
Holidays, especially when you have kids and family and all that stuff, it's a difficult time of year for time. That's for sure. So, Danny, what would you say the biggest fail of this past year has been in your business, and how do you plan to improve for next year?
My biggest fail was probably letting customers run over me. Literally. I still have those customers that I've had since I started. And even though I deep down, I'm not trying to take on customers like that anymore, I know what they're made out of or what they're, what they're trying to do. And it's probably the biggest part is still doing things that I guess like, oh, hey, can you trim this whole fence line that wasn't bid in, the thing and just do it for free. And like Nick Sink says, you got to be able to tell people no. And that's probably my biggest downfall for this year was not being able to tell people, hey, I can do it, but I'm going to have to charge you for it because it's going to take extra time and extra gas. That's my biggest thing.
I have the same issue. I do the same thing, Hey, can you trim that over there, and the customers, everybody knows their customers that are going to say, well, I'll pay you extra. And then you have those customers that say, what do you mean you're going to charge me extra for that? Isn't that included in the price? Well, no, that takes extra time. I had a guy that I work with that he explained it to me really well, and he kind of went by the classes. So you've got your lower class, you've got your middle class, you've got your upper class. Your lower class, they pay for a service, and 95% of the time they're pretty happy with it. And then you've got your middle class who has pretty good money, and they're the ones who constantly complain and gripe. And then you've got your upper class that says, wow, I'm getting a bargain here. If for the services you're providing, I'm getting a bargain, let me pay you more. And I was kind of blown away by it. I'm like, that's almost exactly how it goes, So how would you say, let's go back to YouTube a minute, and how would you say, has that improved your business? I mean, do you have customers that have seen your YouTube and said, hey, we see the job you're doing on here, we see your videos, we'd like to hire you just for that reason alone?
I've only had that happen a couple times. There has literally only been a couple times that's happened, that they literally typed in lawn care near them or something. I ended up popping up. And, so does my Facebook and my YouTube videos and things. And so, yeah, I've actually had a couple of customers call me that, I had one woman over the summer that I picked up that literally, she said, I watched your YouTube videos, and the first words out of my mouth was, uh-oh. and she goes, no, it's good. She's like, I'd really like you to come give us an estimate and all this. And so I went over there, gave them an estimate. She was from out of town, and she was just trying to take care of her parents and make sure that her parents were going to get a good job that they were paying for, because she didn't live close by to, watch over whoever was taking care of something.
Right. So there was one more question here, Nick. I'll get to yours in just a second. Where did I miss it? Maybe I didn't miss it. Maybe I'm looking wrong. So, yeah, I think I might be looking wrong. So, let's hear about where you live, Danny. Obviously, Harrisonville, Missouri is not exactly a huge town,
Oh, it's ginormous. I don't know what Nick's talking about. This is bigger than Grove City ever was.
Yeah. How far are you driving? You said you have about 50 customers. What's the farthest you're driving for these customers? What's your service area there?
The farthest. Let me Google that here. Let me see what from me. If I leave one morning on a Friday morning, on a Thursday morning when I leave here, I drive 46 minutes. So, I mean, it's not, let's see, it's 44 miles, 53 minutes away to my first property.
That's a long time.
But
that's a good drive.
That's my farthest property, and then I work my way back down to my area. So I'll leave early. I'll leave at like 6:30 in the morning, and I'll get there around 7:30, and then I'll start mowing that property, and then I'll work my way back through, the other bigger cities. And then Friday when I'll start where I left off, which is usually closer to my area. So, I mean, it's not too bad.
What, obviously we know you're a Toro guy now. It's in all your videos, right? You've switched to Toro. That's your big push. Prior to this, you had a Skag, correct? A V-Ride. You had some issues with the V-Ride. had some issues with the company and all that stuff. So how did that affect you this year, and how did you overcome that battle? And obviously you went to Toro, so you overcame it and you decided to do something about it. But I mean, when that was going on, how was that affecting you and your customers and the service you were providing?
It was horrible. I bought that V-Ride the April of last year. I bought it brand new off the showroom floor. I mean, brand new. It was a brand new one. It wasn't used. And the dealership I got it through, just their customer service was horrible. They didn't level the deck. So when I went to my first property to mow, I pretty much scalped the yard, and it was my nicest property, and I was lit. I was so mad. They actually would not cover they told me I could take it back to the dealership I bought it for. I said, I don't have time to drive an hour to get a deck leveled. Skag made me pay to have the deck leveled. They wouldn't cover it. I mean, within the first 2 months, I had the deck was unlevel. I had what all was it? Let's see. It was the deck. I had hydraulic issues. I had let me think. There were 3 or 4 things that were wrong that they fixed under warranty. And, then when I started having more problems throughout the rest of the year last year, come to find out, the place that fixed my Skag never warranted any of that work, supposedly. And so I was talking to a guy named Forrest at Skag and stuff, and I said, you're telling me that a company I didn't even buy my mower from did all of this work and did it for free? Oh, I remember what it was. My wheel motors were messed up. Oh God, it was all kinds of stuff, guys. Like, I'm not even joking. It was the worst experience of my life.
And you're not the only person to have issues with those like that. I know that for a fact. I can't figure out. I can't figure it out. I run rights. That's what I choose, and I have 0 issues. So
it was horrible. It was literally the worst experience of. I mean, it was worse than buying a car. Anyway, I'm talking to Skag and I'm telling them, why would a company that I never even bought this mower from, you sent me to do all of this work and not charge me or charge you under warranty? Because all the work that got done over the past year and a half never got in the warranty. So when something major like my deck kept coming unlevel, it was miscutting, it was leaving a strip, and they couldn't figure out why. They could not figure out why. Tom Burbich, the main guy here in Kansas City, the Kansas City rep, come and looked at the mower for himself, went, sharpened the blades, brand new blades now. He pulled them off, resharpened them. They checked all the alignment and everything on all the spindles. He took it across the street, mowed with it, and I shit you not, Doug, pardon my French, he told the guys, well, it's still doing it, but give it back to him and see what he thinks.
Obviously, there's something wrong with that picture.
Skag could not figure out what it was. They still, when I got rid of the mower, still couldn't figure out what it was. After I had figured out that I was going to get rid of this mower, I was done with it. Skag's customer service was horrible. They're literally the way I got treated, just tells people that once they have your money, you're a nobody to them. There's no way in hell I would ever give my money to Skag again. They could not call me and say, Danny, we want to give you a V-Ride too. I would tell them to shove it up their butt. Like, there's no way I would do it.
Yeah, and
just
bad
because I know
experiences,
how.
Yeah, bad experiences like that do happen, and obviously when you've got a guy, and I'm not trying to play that you're more important than Joe Blow down the street, but you've got a guy who's making videos on this mower, and you've got a guy who's promoting this mower, this brand, everything. To me, those would be the guys that you would say, you know what, get that guy a new mower. and let's just figure this out. The mower's not that old.
Right.
We can rebuild it, whatever.
You got a lemon possibly. Let's, fix it. Let's get you a new mower and see if we can't make you happy.
Right.
And, I wasn't asking for a new mower. I was just asking to make mine right. Because I'd had issues from day one, and they wouldn't even do that. And so, pretty much I told them I'm done. I'm totally done. And Toro wasn't even on my list of mowers to even look at. I was looking at a Hustler Super S. I was looking at a Gravely. I demoed John Deere. I demoed Wright. I didn't demo a Ferris, but I went and stood on one and rode it around, and it just was not for me. The platform was way too small. And, I ended up getting a Toro, and it wowed the crap out of me. I've got bi-weekly properties that, I took out. It was dewy as crap one morning, and never missed a spot. And I flew through properties, wet grass, never missed a spot, and dispersed it just as beautiful as that. I said, you know what? I got to thinking, why would you go and buy a mower with a 2-year warranty when you can get one with a 5 or a 6-year warranty and a 1,200 hour limit? It's like, me personally, I'm a small business owner. I can't afford to go buy a new mower every year or every couple years. So I need something that's going to last me. So it gives me that security that you're giving me a 5-year warranty. It makes me honestly feel that you believe in your product to give that much of a warranty.
Right. Absolutely. Now, I know you got to run at 10:30. We got about, 10:30 my time, 9:30 yours. So.
You're fine. I haven't heard nothing. I'll tell you when I hear anything.
Okay. I got a couple quick questions for you. So, what size properties are you servicing down there? I mean, obviously you live in a town, I'm assuming, but you travel quite a bit outside of town. Are you doing acreage properties? Are you doing the 5,000-10,000 footers? What's your average size?
Most of my properties range from anywhere from 17. Well, they range anywhere. I'm trying to think of my smallest property. My smallest property is probably 8,000 square foot. My biggest property is 2 acres. So, I do everything in between. I got apartment complexes. I do about 20 minutes south of me. I've got 2 apartment complexes that I do, by myself. And the guy loves it. He I told him this year, at the end of the year, I said, hey man, I'm gonna raise prices next year. This is what your price is gonna be. I'll get your last bill sent out. And the guy messaged me and said, Danny, I don't have a problem with it. Go for it. Make sure I'm on the schedule next year. Because I was doing it real cheap. And so it was time for me to start raising my prices. My equipment had gotten better. I was starting to get to where I wasn't using a residential Cup Cadet anymore. I wasn't using a steel straight shaft trimmer anymore. I'd switched over to the professional grade Echo, and I had to. Somebody's got to say something.
Little shout out there. Little shout out there. Danny is a UAG member, correct, Danny?
I am a UAG member, and I'm honored to be one. To be honest with you, Doug, because I went from I'm just gonna say I ran steel products, and the reason I ran steel was because everybody I knew ran steel, and so I thought, well, something's got to be right about it. Every steel product I bought and owned was in the shop, guaranteed 1 to 4 times a year for carburetor issues. It was always something. Well, steel, of course, never covers anything that has to do with that because they blame it on your gas or your oil mixtures. It's always something. So I said, you know what? I'm not dealing with this anymore. After I guess it was literally about a year and a half. About a year, a little over a year maybe. I sold everything still I had, and I switched to Echo just to try it. And, it worked for me. And still to this day, believe me or not, I've never had one piece of my equipment in the shop for anything. And I don't do anything. I run the same gas. Of course, I run Echo oil now instead of steel oil, but I mean, nothing's changed. My mixtures are still the same. My gas is still the same. I still run non-ethanol premium and everything, So, and I've never had an issue with it. So I don't know if it's, maybe Steel likes a better blend or something. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't putting no more money into them. So I ended up selling everything.
Yeah, I'm an Echo and Husqvarna guy myself. Most of my stuff is Echo. I got a couple pieces of Husqvarna equipment. And I do have a Maruyama blower. That thing just came out this year, and I tell you what, that's a beast, man. You guys want a blower that really gets the job done? That thing will do it, man. It's expensive, but it's got like a 5-year warranty, and everybody says, well, yeah, the warranty's only as good as what the dealer's going to do for you, and
right.
I've walked in with that blower, and said, man, I can't even get this thing to start. And he literally walked over, pretty much grabbed a new one off the wall and said, here you go, have a nice day.
My, what I tell everybody is, I've said this 1,000 times, and I still think to this day it's 100% true. Steel worked up their name so well in the industry years ago that they started making cheaper products. And, people are still going to buy them because it's got that name on it.
Well, people are faithful.
And I tell everybody, I say, if you want something with a lot of power, go buy the Steel. If you need 30-something cc's to trim a lawn, hey, whatever, more power to you. But I tell everybody, if you want something reliable, you buy something else.
Yeah, my main,
the way I see it.
Power is a fantastic thing, and it really is. I have one trimmer that is a powerful trimmer, and it's my Husqvarna. That's the trimmer that I personally use because I know how to use it. But if I have a guy out working with me, I'm giving him the Echo SRM 225 all day long. He's gonna mess up less stuff, and I tell you what, that the trimmer works. It runs, starts first pull. It's a beautiful thing, So, I lost my comments here, so if anybody else had a question, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if you can see them up there, Danny.
James Nelson said that's why I switched. Gravely Mowers here.
Yeah.
How do you like the Exmark? I love the Toro. If I was actually to look between time to switch to Walker mowers,
I look.
What's the biggest expense?
Walker mower looks beautiful, man, but I can't. That price tag, and I don't bag lawns like that. Not until fall.
Oh no.
It's just not something I do in my area.
Either.
So and you don't see Walker mowers in my area. Literally, you drive around at Grand Rapids, Michigan, and just about every lawn trailer has a right on it, and it's just big here. And my dealer, I got to give my dealer some credit, and I think he may be watching right now, but they blew it up here this year, man. They blew up right in Grand Rapids, and the outer lying areas huge this year. So congrats to them. I mean, and it's a fantastic brand. So
James wants to know what type of advertising I do. James, I pretty much do Facebook advertising in these groups. I'm on all these cities around me, and including the city I live in. I post my ad religiously in there because I want people to, when they think of lawn care, they think, oh, I seen this ad. And, they're going to go back to me, hopefully. But I posted in the Facebook Marketplace. I posted on Craigslist. I do door hangers if I need to. Like, I've got flyers I'll go to restaurants and put in around here because these are small towns. And, with the little cutout thing that they can get my phone number off of. But, that's pretty much the only type of advertising I do is that. And, of course, the word of mouth is always a good thing. So,
yeah.
Bruce wants to know what my biggest expense in my company is. Bruce, my biggest expense is fuel. Fuel for my truck, fuel for my mowers and my equipment. That's my biggest expense is fuel. I go through in the 3 days, it's probably, I would guesstimate around $100 in fuel in 3 days. I mean, my biggest expense is fuel, and it's because of all the driving I'm doing. And so some of these properties are bigger properties. I've got a 10-gallon tank now compared to my little 4-gallon that I had on the Skag. So that helps a ton right there of not having to do gas ups as much. But I like keeping my equipment full too. So next week, whenever I start out, it's already full. I ain't got to worry about nothing.
Right. I do. Mine's same. I would say that fuel is absolutely my number one. I mean, between my truck and my mowers, in 3 days to a week, I bet I'm probably double what you're talking. Let's see, 65. Yeah, I bet I'm about 350 a week at least in fuel. So
that's a big expense. I mean, you really don't. I've got a kid that helps me sometimes when I need it, but otherwise, I mean, my labor's nothing. That's just my time. Whatever.
I pay pretty good hourly to my guys. I don't work them all the time. I mean, it's not. I don't have a 40-hour a week position for a guy. It's more of a part-time thing. But
right, yeah,
gas definitely exceeds that by far.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially when we're running. Especially when we're running 2 trucks. When we get to running 2 trucks in the heat of our season, it's a huge expense. So,
Blaine, I do have video ads that I do. I have set up video ads that, if you go to my, I think I've got a couple in my Facebook page of my actual Lanier Lawn Care Facebook page. I'm pretty sure there's 1 or 2 in there, but I've got more, but that's just, it's actually on my website as well. Nick Saint put it on my website. So yeah, I do have, that as well. That's a big expensive. That cup is a big expense. No, it ain't, James. Calm down.
That is a big cup. He's got it filled with whiskey too. He told me that before.
There's nothing in there. It's all going.
I know. I'm dying of thirst right now.
I thought about bringing the 2-liter in here, and I was like, no, I won't need it. Whatever.
So obviously, your number one form of advertising is Facebook. Would you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get a lot of business off Facebook.
I would say the same. Mine,
yeah.
Mine's about 99.9% Facebook from one group, too. Yeah. Actually, I found a group, man, that I can kill it in that group every year. And it's just,
I've just got, when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I got 9 cities that I do. Okay. So, I can't post in one group and it get around like that. So I'm constantly posting in all of them, right? Trying to get things going.
Let's see here.
Yes, winter is the best time to put bids in on properties. That's why a lot of commercial properties and things like that, you will notice, does a lot of their bidding in December or January. And the bidding will end at the end of January. So, yeah, winter is definitely the best time to put bids in. You really ain't doing nothing. Another good thing of advice that I would give to people to get properties, if you're looking at things like that, is – don't try to just nitpick the shit out of things. But if you notice a guy that's mowing a property that literally just looks like crap and it's a commercial property, something like that, take pictures of it, write it in a notepad, and that way when the year comes around, you can say, hey, this is what, I noticed about your property, blah, blah, blah. And you can add a picture if you want to when you send in your bid and show them that, you're not trying to be about that. You're not trying to leave grass all in the street, or you're not trying to rut up a yard or, something and mow it the same direction every time and just crazy stuff. So,
yeah. And back to Jamal's thing there, one thing, Jamal, the reason that he's saying that commercial properties, the best time to bid them is in the wintertime is typically on a commercial property, they want to have their budget set for the next year before the new year rolls around. So they want to have a bid in for their lawn care by January 1st so that when they drop their budget, especially large companies, I found it more with large companies than the small ones. The small ones are kind of fly-by-night mom and pop shops. They got to pay for lawn care. They know that. But big companies that have big lawns that are going to be pricey lawns, they want to know how much that's going to cost for the next year. So putting those in December, I think my first commercial bid I put in this year for next year was in August. They wanted it by August.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So whether I got it or not, I won't find out till January, which is a bummer. I mean, you
Right.
sit on these things for 3 or 4 months and you're sitting there going, oh man, do I get it or not? It's a huge job. I would really love to have it. But the good thing is too with stuff like that is if you find out in January, now you can start to plan your residential stuff, around that, because you're not going to start, you're going to have your customers left over from last year, but you're not going to really start your residential push until late January. But depending on where you're located, obviously in Michigan,
Right.
I start early February. And I can plan around that once I figure out what I have for commercial, because I've got 2 commercial jobs that literally take me all day long. Each one of them is an 8 to 10 hour job. So that means I can only schedule 3 days worth of residential stuff. So,
Blaine, I have had people stop while I've been mowing in the middle of mowing a property, right in the middle of mowing a property, and literally get out of their vehicle and walk up to me while I'm mowing just because they recognize my truck. It gets weird. It was weird when it first happened. Getting noticed from Facebook or from YouTube or something like that. It really is crazy. Or you're driving and somebody's honking at you, yelling at you, and they're pulling a lawn care trailer too, and you're like, I don't even have a clue who you are. But then, you end up getting a message from, on Facebook or something later saying, hey, it's me, blah, blah, blah. I was honking at you earlier. So it's really crazy how many people notice you, or, you really don't think about it. But then when you do think about it, it's like, well, there's a lot of people there. I mean, you add up the 5,600, 5,700 I've got on YouTube, and then, the over 5,000 on Instagram that probably who knows how many of them are subscribed to my YouTube. But then Facebook and everything else, that's a lot of people. And it's amazing how many people are in your area that actually recognize who you are, even without, a lawn care shirt on or whatever it may be. So yeah, it's definitely, I've had people go, hey, I know you. Just because of the truck I'm in. Like, I've got dark tinted windows, so there's no way in heck they know, they can see me inside, but they'll pull right up to you and be laying on the horn. I have nothing on my truck that says anything about lawn care, but they know who I am just from, watching my videos. So it's kind of crazy, but
no, it's a big deal, man. I mean, and it kind of, it makes you feel like what you're doing on the YouTube and the Instagram and stuff like that is worth it. Especially when you get those guys that come up and say, hey, man, I watch your channel, and it's influenced me to start my own lawn care business or my own,
right.
Some other business, Let's see. My comments don't show up anymore, Danny. I don't know why they do it, but it stops. Just stops.
I've got, let's see, Mower Man. What's up, David?
Mr. Ovando, fantastic interview last week, by the way. If you guys haven't caught the interviews that we've done so far, everything is posted up to YouTube. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers so that I can have my own URL, so it makes it easier for you guys to find it. But I'll try to post it up here real fast so that everybody can see.
So I got a comment on Bruce Leonard's thing. He put steel chainsaws all the way. And I have to say this, Bruce, if you've ever tried a steel farm boss and you've ever tried a Echo Timberwolf, the Timberwolf will eat the farm boss alive. It's proven. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. They're the same CC class and everything, but the Echo, man, is just, it's crazy. Now, I don't know about their smaller chainsaws or their bigger chainsaw. I'm just talking about the chainsaw I own because I can speak to that. But it's a bad it's a bad SOB.
Bruce has been cutting trees for 35 years. I don't think we're going to sway his opinion on steel.
Right? No, probably not. He uses it. Well, you know what? I'll give you this then, Bruce. Echo right now makes the lightest chainsaw in the industry.
They do, and Echo, they don't make the lightest trimmer though. Hate to break it to you.
No, that's for damn sure.
That's even the SRM 225, which is pretty light. Husqvarna, I believe, if I'm not wrong, commercial wise, Husqvarna makes the lightest one. I think it's like 9.6 pounds.
Wow.
And it's a beast.
I know for the power to weight ratio, what is it? The Steel 100RX or the 111 is the best power to weight ratio trimmer on the market, I believe. But I mean, you know, it is, but it's got a hard, crazy handle on it that I just can't I can't get by the hard handles on them things.
All right, Danny, I think our broadcast got interrupted, man. Unless you're still seeing it.
I see it now. Well, maybe. Hang on, let me pull it over here. It's loading.
Loading? Yeah, on my end, it's completely froze up and done. So
now it says it interrupted or should resume shortly. So yeah. I think see nobody likes me.
I don't know why. I don't know why it does that, man. I don't know why it does it. Every time you're on here, every damn time.
I know.
That's all right.
People get tired of watching me. People get tired of listening to me, so they're like, "Okay, we gotta fix this."
That's all right. That's all right. Well, hey, man, Danny, I appreciate it. And like I said, we've still recorded this, so it's going to be available on YouTube. I dropped a link in the comments. Probably not tonight, but tomorrow morning I'll have Danny message me all of his social media links so that I can post those with the video as well. Make sure you guys go like his channel, subscribe to his channel, like some videos. Make sure you check out his new page. Just review it.
We've got some good videos coming up on it. We've got
looking forward to
Milwaukee
those for sure.
Sawzall, Milwaukee reciprocating saw. We got the DeWalt reciprocating saw. Then we're going to do a head-to-head between those two. We've got a skill saw. I just got in the mail the other day the new Works Pegasus workbench. Thing is totally awesome. Like, I cannot wait to show people how awesome this freaking work table is, because it's mind-boggling to me. And I'll probably end up buying another one just because I love it so much, and they're just so tiny. But it does have its negatives. Like, everything's got a negative, and trust me, if I'm so nitpicky about things that I can definitely find the negative of it. So it does have negatives, I found.
Oh, absolutely. But, everything's going to. I mean, every brand is not going to be, you know, everybody's going to have a problem with something on some brand, especially if they're switching from one brand to another. I mean, it's just going to happen, you know. So, but Danny, thank you so much. We appreciate it a ton. Make sure you guys check this out on YouTube. Like I said, I'll post it on my channel. Thank you, Danny. Everybody have a fantastic evening, and make sure you tune in next week. We have a pretty great guest next week too. It's going to be the day after Christmas, and I was shocked that he was actually going to do it then. But we'll see how that one goes too. So. Thanks, guys. Everybody have a good evening. Take care.
Bam! Yeah, man, anytime you want to go live, you just let me know. Like, I'll